Hello, everybody. My name is Betsy.
And I'm Sid.
And we are the Twisted Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Twisted Podcast. We are on episode 5. Lucky number 5. That is our lucky and favorite number.
That is
number 5.
Number 5.
So today's episode was actually supposed to be something completely different, but plans ended up changing, and we are doing something else today. The topic of today was chosen by me, and it's based on relationships. And when we say relationships, we mean any kind of relationship, not just the dating one.
Platonic. Romantic.
Soulmates.
Is it platonic or platonic?
Platonic.
Platonic.
Siblings. It's like any type of relationships in your life, because relationships, for a lot of people, it just means dating.
Mm-hmm.
But relationships is everything. Like every single best friend, those are all some type of relations that you have with people. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. So the first question, how do your relationships with other people differ from your relationship with your siblings?
You know, honestly, with my sister and you, I fear that I'm the same exact way. But if it's just with a random person, I feel like there's a level of maybe, I don't know the correct word to put at comfortable, like being comfortable. You're obviously, there's different levels of comfort with not a random person, but with someone you're not as close to as you would be with your sibling. You're gonna have a different comfort level. It depends on how close you are with your siblings though. Mm-hmm. But in my situation, I fear that I'm more comfortable around my sister, so I act a certain way, whereas if I'm with someone who I'm not as close with, I think you're not gonna be able to be yourself as much, because you're gonna fear that you need to act a certain way to not be judged. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For Sid, I basically treat Sid as if she was my sister. Like, I treat them exactly the same. If not, I'm probably even meaner to Sid. It's like a silent agreement we have. But like, if it's like a random stranger, I'm like obviously closer to my sister.
Yeah.
I'm not really mean to my sister. I'm like nice. There's just times where I don't think that's really being mean, because I'm not like calling her names or something, like insulting her. Like, I just kind of, there's times where I give her attitude and she gives me attitude. So, but like with normal people, normal friends, like I'm obviously going to be way nicer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like also because you grew up together, there's just a level of, I don't want to deal with your things right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think that ties in with, like, being more comfortable with your siblings. There's a sense of familiarity.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
How do you define a healthy relationship with your siblings? What factors contribute to such a relationship?
Setting boundaries, even though they're your sibling. Just because they're your sibling doesn't mean they could treat you however they want to, just because you're related by blood.
Yeah. Also, not invalidating each other's feelings.
Yeah.
It's about setting boundaries and not invalidating each other. Yeah.
I agree. I think that, in my opinion, setting boundaries is a great thing for siblings, because then you know you're not overstepping, even though you're so familiar with them. I mean, if you live with them, even if you don't, if you're just very like close with them, I think it's definitely important.
Now this one's interesting. Where do you draw the line between friendship and romantic involvement? And is it possible to be friends with someone you once had romantic feelings for?
Where does it draw the line? When you start getting emotionally involved?
Yeah, I think when it's like starts to get like, oh, I like you.
Yeah.
Like when you like someone more than just like a casual friend.
Yeah, you get it.
And then is it possible to be friends with someone you once had romantic feelings for?
I feel like it depends on the person.
I think yes.
I think it depends on the person. Because a person can be really good with how you are. But you could also have a person who isn't. I mean, some people really just can't
get over it.
Yeah.
Can't fathom.
Yeah. And I think it can go either way, honestly. And I believe that either or it can be respected, because at the end of the day, I think it's important to. But I think it just depends on the person, and I respect that. I mean, some people, like, I respect that you can do that.
Yeah, because like I don't really think about it.
Yeah, and some people, I don't know. I just think it depends on the person, and either or, you know, that's completely up to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Twisted tales. Stay with me.
Twisted tales.
Wait, that was really bad. Ooh. Nice. Ooh. You're so dramatic. Oh my god. Okay. So today's Twisted Tales are basically just telling stories about friendships we had, like knowing either whether you were in the wrong or they were in the wrong, like whatever it may be. And I'm going to just tell a story about what the next few questions are going to kind of be based around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to admit I know my mistakes, okay? I used to be a very, very overprotective, possessive friend. I've been the possessive best friend in like 3 cases. I'm not going to lie. The first one, it was kind of like, it didn't realize that I was being a possessive best friend, because in my head, I was like, I'm just trying to protect my best friend from getting hurt. And my best friend did end up getting hurt in some way. So then I learned my lesson from that, but clearly not. Because a couple years later, I ended up doing it again. And again, after like being the possessive best friend for so long, I just somehow, something just clicked in my brain, and I just stopped being that way. Your friends are allowed to have other friends. So yeah, I used to be the possessive best friend.
I think that people need to understand that having other friends while also keeping that best friend, or the person you see as your closest friend or your best friend, whatever you want to call the friend nearest and dearest to you, that friend can have other friends besides you.
Facts.
If you have other friends that aren't that nearest and dearest friend to you, and that doesn't mean you're any less closer to the one that you call your best friend. I don't think it makes sense to think that just because one of your friends that you think is the closest to you, or you have a very close friendship with, getting another friend on their end means that you're not going to be as close to them anymore.
And if you do feel that way, it's important to talk to the friend. Don't talk to the friends of the friend. Talk to the friend directly you have a problem with.
I think that I agree, yes. Communicating is extremely important in that aspect with your friends. I think in any friendship, any relationship in general, is very important to communicate. But acting upon your communications and the resolve you get from your communications, and actually trying to make a difference, you know what I mean, is just as important, if not more important, than actually stepping up and communicating about whatever is bugging you. Because if you come to a resolve with that person you decided to talk to, then you can start working on things from there. But if you're just going to talk, say, okay, I'll try, I'll change, but then make no power or even try a little bit to make that change you said you would or would try to, then it's kind of like, you're kind of just saying, oh, I'm communicating, I am, but then you're not doing anything to actually communicate and do what you said you would try to do to make the situation better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think acting upon your communications is very important, because it's one thing to just say it, but you got to show it.
This Twisted Tales is more like of advice, information, things that people just normally should really think about.
Yeah.
So it's not like more of like stories, because we don't really want to talk badly about anyone.
No.
But we do want to inform those of you who may be acting like this and just don't realize it, or those of you who have friends who act like this. Now I'm not trying to say like, oh, being like that is bad, but it's like you need to know your limit.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know when enough is enough, like when you've crossed the line. And I'm gonna say this with so many different people in mind. So if the shoe fits and you're hurt by this, I'm sorry, but then maybe it applies to you. Sorry, it's the truth. If someone hurts your feelings with something they said, tell them. Don't be one of those people that, like, when you get your feelings hurt, you keep it all to yourself, and then you silently resent that person, and then every single time you see that person, like, you're giving them bad looks or, like, attitude and just being dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And then this person has no idea what they did wrong because they have no clue that they even hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll never know unless you tell them.
Mm-hmm.
How is someone supposed to apologize or make up for their actions when they don't even know that their actions have hurt you in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to speak up and communicate. And speak to the person you have the problem with, not their friends, not your friends. Speak directly to the person that you clearly don't like for whatever reason, for if they hurt your feelings or if they just acted some type of way that you didn't like. Communicate.
Communicating if someone hurts your feelings or anything in general, if you had a disagreement that you didn't like, or if they treated you some way you felt indifferent about, or
an argument that you didn't like.
Anything. I think it's extremely important to communicate that with your friend, with your sibling, with your romantic partner, anyone, because it's borderline cruel to let someone think and have them stress out wondering what they had done when you could easily just say, hey, I didn't like the way you treated me here. Hey, this argument that we had really did bother me. Can we talk about it?
Something you said really hurt my feelings and I want to talk to you about it. Or like something you said hurt my feelings and I don't want you to say it ever again.
Yeah.
Like it's not, and you might be like afraid like, oh, they're going to hate me. How are they going to hate you when they don't even know what they did wrong to you?
And if they do hate you when you try to bring it up, then
they're not your friends.
They're not just meant to be with you.
Yeah, maybe they're not your friends, buddy.
Then maybe they're not your friends. Because I think that that's not even an excuse that should be used. Because genuinely, if you bring something up to a person that makes you sad, uncomfortable, angry, that you want to talk about genuinely, and they brush you off, then maybe that person's just not a good person and you shouldn't associate yourself with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that communicating when things like that happen in any relationship is extremely important, because if a friend hurts your feelings, how is that friend going to know what they said or did or what happened hurt your feelings if you're not telling them? No one can read minds like that, okay? So just try your best to communicate and actually work on it if you say you're going to work on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. How does possessiveness affect friendships in the long term? That's the first. It's like
it can make your friends resent you silently.
Yeah, true. It could, you being possessive and constantly wanting to be around someone all the time could also make them push away from you.
Definitely.
So like, someone could like just in conclusion, like altogether, possessiveness affects friendships in the long term because you end up losing your friends who you are possessive over.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no long term. That's it.
Well, and I think an argument that people like to use.
And
I think an argument that people like to use is that, oh, well, I am scared that we're not going to be as close anymore, or I'm scared that our friendship is going to take a hit. I'm scared that our sibling relationship is going to take a hit. I'm scared that my relationship, and any relationship, as I said, but this specifically friendships, I feel like we're not going to be as close anymore. I feel like there's going to be a wedge in our friendship. I feel like our relationship together is going to take a hit because of whatever X, Y, and Z reason. And if you keep acting possessive towards that friend, it's going to cause that drift in between the friendship at a certain point. So you're kind of self-sabotaging at that point, considering you're, number one, acting possessive. That's one thing.
But then again, there's a difference between silent possessiveness and acting on your possessiveness. How does one identify if their friend is possessive? So I'm going to say this as a person who was a possessive friend. I didn't really fully... okay, but that's the thing. There's a difference. When I was saying there was a difference between silent possessiveness and possessiveness, like acting out on it. Because when I was possessive towards a specific friend, never, ever was I ever mean to their friends that I was jealous of. I wasn't even mean to the person I was possessive of, but I did be like, when they would like tell me, oh, I'm going to go hang out with my friend, I'd be like, bruh, like why? Like, why can't you just hang out with me? So like I would say things like that, but I would never be mean to the friends of that person. I never acted out on the person I wasn't possessive over, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would hang out with my friend and their other friend who I was jealous of, but I never once treated her dirty or mean because I just felt like it. Like, no, I didn't take out my insecurities and my problems on another person that didn't do anything to me. They're not to blame for my possessiveness, neither of them. And that's how I felt towards every single friendship that I was possessive over. Like they didn't do anything for me to blame them over my possessiveness. Like, this is my problem. So I was never mean to the people I was like jealous of in the first place. If that makes sense. Like I was always nice to all of their friends.
That makes sense.
So that's what I mean by silent possessiveness, because I never truly fully acted out on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you are going out of your way to treat someone you feel envious of or jealous of for having that friendship with the person you deem closest to you in that aspect, that's not nice.
Mm-mm.
That's not nice at all.
What'd that person do to you?
Yeah, that person did nothing to you. Don't act out on your emotions purely because you're hurt with the situation you have at hand, because that person is just living their life and having a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, in some aspects, it's really not the person you're mad at's fault either, and if in certain situations, because they could just be having a new friend and you're feeling a certain type of way.
All right, so we're back. How does one identify if their friend is possessive? What are some signs? So, first things first is if this person's like actively acting out on their possessiveness, they're going to be mean to your other friends without reasoning because they're jealous. And it doesn't have to be mean like their tone, but their looks, their body language gives off the fact that like they're jealous. They're going to be mean and they're not afraid to really show it to that person that they are possessive over you. Another thing is they'll constantly be like, hey, like, do you still want to hang out? Like, this is that blah, blah, blah. Like, I just feel like upset that you're hanging out with other people more than me. Like, it's just that kind of thing where it's like, oh, you're my best friend and I only need you.
Mm-hmm. My nose is like itchy from this.
Identifying another sign is I'm gonna say this and I really hope that nobody knows what we're talking about, but I'm gonna say it. If they're constantly checking your location. If they're constantly checking your location to see if you're with other people, and then after that they either sent you like a picture of your location, or they'll be like, hey, where are you? And they know where you are and they have your location. Oh, who are you with? Like, it depends on how they're saying it. Whether they sent you like a picture of your location, like, hey, I saw you were with so-and-so, or hey, I saw you went here with so-and-so. I saw your Insta story and you were with so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like things like that. Like, constantly bringing up specific friends. Like, why are you with them? Like, I see you hanging out with them every single day. What about me? That type of things it's kind of signs to identify if your friend is possessive.
Yeah, I agree. Or if they try to be passive aggressive with the approach and bring it up when you're in person. Like, oh, maybe you could be telling a story or something, and that person's like, oh, yeah, I know you were there. I checked your location.
Mm-hmm. Why is it important to set boundaries in relationships?
I think it's important to set boundaries in relationships because no matter how close you are to a person in any relationship, like I said before, it's important that if you feel a certain way about a topic, or if you don't like something that a person does that may hurt your feelings or make you upset, I feel like it's important to speak on those things and say, hey, I don't appreciate you doing this. Hey, I don't like that. Hey,
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think it's really important because that ties in with not speaking about things that
hurt your feelings.
Yes. Especially in that aspect, I think it's very important to set boundaries, because boundaries will strengthen the relationship in a lot, I think.
It will.
Especially if the person is willing and not able to listen, or willing to listen and be okay. You know what I mean? I can't think of the words, but yeah, you get it.
it's like kind of playing into what you said. It's just like, but like, if you have boundaries, make them clear. Don't set invisible boundaries and not tell the person you even set boundaries, because then when they cross that boundary, you're gonna feel some type of way about it when you didn't make your boundaries clear. Boundaries are really important in any relationship, best friends, siblings. Boundaries, even, and when people think boundaries, they're thinking like with like dating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We also mean boundaries with parents, uncles, aunts, family members. Point is, boundaries are boundaries in any relationship. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Because me as a person, I hate physical touch. I don't like when people hug me. I don't like when people touch me. So I kind of set invisible boundaries, and there's a very specific reason which I'm not going to disclose now, maybe in the future. But I set invisible boundaries with my family members. It's like different ways of greeting people, and among the Mexicans is always like saluda a tus tíos or saluda a la familia, like, and it's like when you're leaving, be like, oh, ve a despedirte. Like, you have to say hi and bye to everyone at all times, or else you're like seen as rude, or like he didn't educate his kids right. So it's like I have to set invisible boundaries and be like, oh, I don't like hugging people, and I'll set it with like my friends, my sister. But when it comes to like my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, it's like I can't have those boundaries. You gotta keep them invisible. So it is important, please, and this is for parents, for kids, and for parents specifically, let your kids set boundaries. If your kid doesn't like touch, don't force them. Then you're not going to make them like it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, let your kids set boundaries and respect those boundaries.
Yeah, I think it's very important to,
as parents, set boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's for everybody. I'm not just saying like, oh, parents, you have to let your kids set boundaries. You can also set boundaries. It's kind of how it works. Like, when your kids are old enough to understand what a boundary is, you can set them. Yeah.
I mean, because even if something that your parents said were to hurt your feelings, I think it's important to let them know that you were hurt by whatever they said or what action they performed against you that really had like affected you deeply. I think it's important to speak on things like that.
But we also understand the people that have parents who aren't willing to listen.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you know you can set boundaries and you feel like you need to because you keep feeling like uncomfortable or something just hurts your feelings, set the boundaries. Talk about the boundaries.
Definitely.
If you have parents who don't willingly try to understand you or even try to willingly accept that you have boundaries, then things are different.
Yeah, it's a different situation. Definitely.
But yeah, that's important, guys. Set boundaries for yourself.
This is tickling my...
Another birdie.
It's tickling my chin. This is why I can't have a bob.
Oh my god, I couldn't find the dumb chicken. On a wave. Okay, so
Bruh.
Here we go. How do you define a best friend, and what qualities make someone a best friend?
Best friend.
Best friend.
What's that? Okay. Cause we're sisters, duh.
Aha. So funny. I don't know if you got what I'm trying to do.
Is that Johnny? Oh my gosh.
Haha. Very funny.
That was like really good.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Are you Johnny, sir?
I think I should just say Johnny. All right.
Hey,
How do you define a best friend, and what qualities make someone a best friend?
What qualities make someone a best friend? Someone who doesn't go when you're trying to talk.
That's crazy.
No, I'm kidding. I guess something that I think is very important is someone who you feel like, I don't know how to explain the feeling. You ever have someone, Books is my someone for this. What the heck are you doing?
I'm emoting.
Who the is Coco? I didn't even know there was Coco at our school. The.
Bro, go before I take your turn.
Okay.
Oh my god, stop. Don't.
With books, I feel like time doesn't go. Wait.
Stop.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm emo to you, so we're gonna emo.
No.
This is my emote.
No, go.
This is Coco. This is not Coco. With books, especially, I feel like time can go by for hours, and it'll feel like I just started hanging out with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it also feels like we've been friends for like years. It's like ever since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, I guess that's how you, in my opinion, someone that you could spend hours with and have it feel like 5 minutes. And every single time you're with them, it's just a nice, fun time. And you're having a great time. I don't know. In my opinion, it's kind of a hard feeling I'm trying to describe.
Yes.
But someone who you feel completely you around. You can be you comfortably.
How do you define a best friend? Stop. For me, a best friend is someone, because this is what I wanted to say, and I told Sid about this earlier in the room. Every relationship relies on, obviously, like trust, love, like all that stuff. The main 2 points, and I'm saying main 2 because a lot of people, including me at one point, only said like, oh, communication is key. Communication and comprehension are key, because you can communicate, but if you're not mutually understanding each other or trying to understand where the other one's coming from, there is no relationship. You're just going to worsen your relationship. That's when it becomes toxic and all this stuff. Communication and comprehension go together and work as the key to any relationship.
And if you can't comprehend, then maybe it's just not.
Maybe relationship not for you.
Yeah. Maybe it's not meant to be in friendships, anything. If you guys can't comprehend something you're trying to communicate on, maybe you should take that as a sign. Only cheese pizza?
I define a best friend as someone I can communicate with, someone that we like understands me and I understand her. You. Someone who, like you said, someone who I can spend days with, hours, years. So I like that with Sid. I can just like come over her house, lay in her bed, and we'll like sit in silence for hours on our phones, and that's enough. Like, I don't need to always be having to do something to be enough. It's just like just our presence together in a room is enough of like a bonding for us. It's a silent agreement.
Yes, I also appreciate that.
How has the way you've been raised affect how you act or what you expect in relationships? And this is where I bring up the attachment styles. So I found out recently what an avoidant attachment person is. There's a whole bunch of different kinds. So I think there's 4 kinds. So I'm going to read these for you, and I'm going to tell you exactly which one me and Sid each got.
I don't know what mine is.
It was secure. So Books's was secure attachment. And those of you with a secure attachment style are able to build healthy long-term relationships. A secure attachment generally leads to good self-esteem and the ability to enjoy close relationships, seek social support, and share feelings with others. To put it simply, secure attachment is what most people should want. Children who developed this attachment style had parents or primary caregivers who were more attentive to their needs. They felt safe, loved, and understood. Securely attached children sought comfort from their parent or caregiver when scared. That's the one you got.
That's crazy.
Wait, you can retake it. And preferred the comfort of this adult to strangers. Research suggests, oh my God, I'm such a bad stutterer, sorry guys, that securely attached children are more empathic as they get older.
Ooh, I am, and I do that. But the one about comfort is like not it for me.
So I'm going to read every single one, and I'll tell you guys which one I am. So then there's anxious or ambivalent.
Let me see.
Ambivalent? Ambivalent?
Whatever.
Whatever. Anxious attachment. Anxious attachment style, also called, can't say that word, but I'll type it on the thing, is a type of insecure attachment. If you have this attachment style, you may tend to be wary of getting close to others and worry whether a romantic partner loves you or not. It's not easy for any of those when a relationship ends, but anxious attachment can make things especially difficult. Children who are anxiously attached are typically suspicious of strangers and distressed when separated from a caregiver, but unlike securely attached children, those with anxious attachment don't seem to be comforted by the parent or caregiver's return, and they may even refuse comfort. Avoidant attachment, which is what I got. An avoidant attachment style is marked by challenges with intimacy and close relationships. If you're avoidant, you might not be willing or able to share thoughts and feelings with others, and may even have problems with intimacy. In some cases, this may look like what is commonly called commitment phobia. Yeah. Those of us with this attachment style may not invest as much emotion in relationships as others and tend not to be as disappointed when relationships end. The last part may sound like a good way to protect ourselves from getting hurt, and it is, but it's also a good way to prevent ourselves from finding meaningful, long-lasting relationships. Children with an avoidant attachment may have had caregivers who weren't emotionally available. They may have been left to take care of themselves because they couldn't rely on a parent or guardian. These children might avoid parents and caregivers and not have a preference between a caregiver and a stranger. And the last attachment style is disorganized attachment. A disorganized attachment style includes a mix of behaviors. A person with this attachment style might be clingy at one time and emotionally distant at the other time. It's typically a response to parents or caregivers who may have been abusive or neglectful. A child with this organized attachment style might feel both fear and comfort toward a caregiver, which can be confusing. So those are the 4 I see here. I got an avoidant attachment style, which completely makes sense because I'm also one of those people where if I want something or someone, once I get it, I no longer feel satisfied. I don't want it anymore. So it's like I like to chase things that aren't meant for me, and then when I get it, I don't want it anymore. And then when people mention like let's move in together or we're gonna be best friends forever, I'm like, ugh, forever. And like I feel like I get stuck and I'm like, shoot, like I can't be myself anymore. Like I'm not allowed to be my own person. Now I'm you. So I tend to push people away really easily and really quickly. So yeah, and I also don't like strangers or adults. They both scare me.
I have no idea what mine is. I feel like in certain aspects that one is me, but also I feel like I'm a
You can retake it while I answer this question.
I feel like I'm a mix.
So I'm gonna re-ask it. How has the way you've been raised affect how you act or what you expect in relationships? So because of the fact that, and in other ways, I saw someone on TikTok explain it, which is basically that people with an avoidant attachment style grew up with having less from the people they wanted the most from, that as they got older, they learned to be okay with that little amount of like affection or attention that they get. So then when they get way more than that, they get overwhelmed and they start to not want it anymore. So that's kind of how I would explain myself. Like I crave attention and I want it, and like I crave like affection and just for someone to be emotionally there. But then when I get it, it kind of almost gives me the ick in a way, and I just start to push that person away. So a lot of the things of how I was raised and the house I was raised in caused me to be an avoidant person. And in a way I'm trying to blame like my parents and say like they were bad parents. I think that, you know, I was raised okay, at least. What'd you get?
That makes so much more sense.
Okay, so she got a disorganized attachment.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I was going to say secure. I don't know about that.
So, yeah.
I wish.
Now your turn. So she's a disorganized. If you don't remember what that is, I'll probably put like a timestamp of when I talked about what it was. So, how has the way you've been raised affect how you act or what you expect in a relationship?
I think the bare minimum is amazing.
Thanks.
Like, I literally will cry over the bare minimum.
Facts.
I have a really hard time communicating how I feel. And I think that ropes in with how I was raised. I don't open up. And I used to really not communicate at all. I feel like I'm getting better.
We have to get our monthly cry session in.
Yeah, we should do that, yeah.
Where we cry to each other and then wake up the next morning perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Also, if you see our tree.
Guys, you guys like our tree?
I'm proud of it. We've only added 2 so far.
Yeah.
We'll add more eventually. We still haven't gotten that shelf, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Any recommendations?
You're going to hit your head on it, though. Because I don't want to put the shelf on this wall. I think it'd be better here.
Oh, no, I'll be fine.
Or like above the twisted sign.
Yeah.
Facts.
Any recommendations for photo cards? So Kim Hong-joon is on there. I picked him out because I want a captain on there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I will never go red. Smarter, baby, smarter. Throwback. Okay. Coachella! Are you guys ready? Smarter, baby, smarter.
Wanna
like my hair.
be a winner.
Guys.
Die.
Larv, bye, larv.
Seems as if they'll never end.
Who the is Coco? I didn't even know there was a Coco at our school.
No, you didn't do it right. Books. Who the is Coco? I didn't even know there was a Coco at our school. Duh.
Who the is Coco? I didn't even know there was a Coco at our school. Oh, wow.
You know what I found out? That people are saying that that's like the Ice Spice emote.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought she was just like being like period. You know what I mean?
Post for me, babe Natalie Nunn. Baddies. Post for me. Slim thick, no tummy. I got a tummy though.
Your mom's so old and she breastfeeds.
That is the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. I'm Betsy.
And I'm Sid.
And we are the Twisted Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.